Hubble? Hubble. Hubble. Matthew. Matthew. Matthew.
Hey!
It's important that I find Hubble.
What are you doing? This is the best part of the movie.
I don't care about the movie, Matthew. He's supposed to be leading a meditation session.
You guys meditate so much you think you could levitate by now.
Turn it off.
Do you mind? Get out of here!
Turn it off and leave it on.
Can I have that back?
No.
Give it to me.
Matthew.
Give it to me!
No, let go.
Give it to me!
No.
Come on! Give me that.
Matthew,
It's
let go.
mine. Give it to me.
Matthew, let go.
Give it to me.
No.
Great. Now look what you did. What? What the hell's the matter with you?
Hubble. No, Hubble.
That's Hubble Bao, or at least the last legitimate picture we have of him. That was taken with a surveillance camera 8 years ago.
The guy doesn't like having his picture taken.
He has an obsessive need for privacy. Matter of fact, over the last 15 years since he assumed the leadership of Level 4, he's only been seen in public on 4 occasions.
Level 4, what's that?
Level 4 is a religious group devoted to the attainment of higher consciousness through an intense program of celibacy and meditation.
That sounds like a lot of laughs.
Celibacy. He had 6 wives, ranging in age from 19 to 60. 3 of them lived with him when he died.
How'd he die?
He was crucified.
Nice.
That is a form of execution that has not been in widespread use for nearly 2 millennia.
Maybe it's making a comeback.
The only people that had access to Bao were his closest disciples. They all lived with him in his mansion on top of Hubble Tower.
You thinking one of them killed him?
The mansion is like a fortress, 80 stories up. It's the group's inner sanctum. Only a true believer or a close family member could have gotten to him.
There are family members who are not true believers?
One, his 25-year-old son, Matthew. He and Bao's second youngest wife discovered the body. Her name is Ashley. There's one more thing you should know. As supreme leader of Level 4, Bao controlled a contribution-based empire worth nearly $1 billion.
Ashley Bow.
No, David Hume.
I'm supposed to take you to the crime scene if you'll follow me.
What is all this?
They're meditating.
One of those things they're putting on their heads.
Electrocaps. They help the members synchronize their brainwaves with the brainwaves of our new leader, Mr. Dennison.
Ah.
Detective,
Just one more thing. Who are those two women right there?
the younger one's name is Chandra, and the older one is Mother Bow.
The oldest and youngest of Bow's 6 wives.
That's correct. I'm sorry, Detective, but this is supposed to be a private session.
Yeah, sure.
Hubble's private library is right down here.
So where exactly do you fit in the pecking order?
Pecking order?
Well, the guy had 6 wives. He wasn't sleeping you all at the same time. Or was he?
How is that important to your investigation?
Sexual jealousy is a common motive in a lot of murders.
Well, there was no jealousy between us. Hubble was an incredibly enlightened man. It was an honor for each of us to spend time with him.
Well, no, I'm sure it was, but that doesn't really answer my question.
Level 4 is about spiritual enlightenment. It's not about sex.
So what you're saying is you weren't sleeping with Hubble?
He only kept conjugal relations with one wife at a time.
And the latest beneficiary, before he was killed?
That would be Chandra. The library's right in here.
You met Ashley?
I've had the pleasure, yes. We finished our preliminary scan. Unfortunately, there are about 20 sets of fingerprints in this room.
It's gonna take some time.
It's gonna take a lot of time.
If it's okay, I'm gonna go to my room.
You found the body, right?
With Matthew, yes.
Matthew. That's Bow's only kid.
Yes,
And I assume Mother Bow, that's actually his mother.
that's correct. If there are no more questions, I'd like to go back to my room.
Okay.
You're not gonna interview everyone here, are you?
We have no choice. According to the freedom of religion laws of 2037, they have the right to remain inside their place of worship until they're actually indicted for a crime.
This is their place of worship?
It's the story they're going with.
I spoke to one of the other members of the group. Apparently, the giant vid screen was a present from Hubble to his son, Matthew. Evidently, he thought it would keep Matthew in the house. The other members of the group were not allowed to watch it.
Looks like it's time to have a chat with Matthew. Sure you don't want anything?
I'm sure.
Matthew, what the hell is going on in this place? You got vid screens and all this other crap, and you can't even get a cup of coffee. The cook was telling me that the members of Level 4, they're anti-caffeine. What is that?
I don't know. Members of Level 4 are idiots.
Yeah, well, from what I've seen, I have to agree with you. So look, I gotta ask. Did you kill your father?
What, is that supposed to get my attention or something?
I'd like to hope so. Your father was murdered and hung up on a wall behind your vid screen. And you want to tell me how that happens without you knowing anything about it?
I don't know how it happened. I don't spend all my time in front of the vid screen.
That's good. Where do you spend it?
Around, okay? I don't keep a record of where I go.
Maybe you better start. You know, while you're at it, make it a good one. Because since every member of this house is a complete fucking lunatic in my book, you don't have one sane person that's gonna back up whatever story of innocence you're gonna pitch me.
You're an asshole. You know that?
Why is that exactly?
Because I didn't kill my dad.
Why should I believe you?
Because I loved him. I loved him, okay? I loved my dad.
Okay. I have a dad. And I love him. I love him very much. But I also know how sometimes those feelings can get screwed up. Especially if you were living in a place like this. Look, you're a smart guy. You know, look around you. Half these people are living in some sort of fantasy world. I just thought maybe the fantasy spread over.
Do you think it was a fantasy that killed my dad? Or do you think it was me that slipped into a fantasy when I killed him?
That's why I'm asking you.
You're just trying to pin this on me. That's what you're trying to do.
No, Matthew.
You know what? I don't even have to talk to you.
No, you don't.
No, I don't. My dad's got a whole firm of lawyers on retainer. You want to talk to me? You talk to them.
That went well.
Hey, Dave. Your wife's on the vid phone.
Thanks. If you didn't know any better, would you say that's a human being or an android?
I don't think there's a difference in this house. And these people give people a bad name.
David, were you supposed to see your dad this morning?
Yeah, we caught a case. I wanted to find out how things were working out at the new place.
Well, you better call him now. He left quite a message on the vid phone.
Let me see it.
You're gonna have to come down here, David, and get me out of this place. It's not like you said it was going to be. They got people watching me all the time. They won't even let me take a walk without you signing some kind of consent form. I don't want to talk anymore. Not like this, not on this machine. Shit. I don't even know if they're gonna let you see this.
He needs to see you, David.
I'll get down there this afternoon. Hey, can you do me a favor? Can you call the place and tell them I'm coming?
I already have.
Thanks.
Let Dennison do it!
We have to find the control mechanism.
Find it quick.
Here it is. Morales, we need a laser torch. Got it. We're gonna attempt to jam the mechanism.
Hurry up, Barb.
Morales!
She's alive.
You want to tell me what this is?
It's a sarcophagus.
A what?
It's used to sacrifice either the most innocent or those who have recently lost their innocence. It's never been used before. It's strictly a symbolic vessel.
Look at me. You people are out of your fucking minds. You are insane. Unbelievable. Not just your everyday buffet table, is it?
No, it's not. Once this is locked into place, the weight of the person on the inside causes the lid to close down on itself. It's as simple and as elegant as a self-winding watch.
Yeah, when was the last time your watch nearly crushed you to death?
It's a sick but time-honored tradition. You know, the word sarcophagus literally means flesh-eating stone in Greek.
Okay.
I understand the importance of his vow of silence, but I must verify his whereabouts.
We got a problem?
Your partner's having a hard time respecting our group's rights.
My partner's the most respectful person we got, so deal with it.
By law, neither one of us has to talk to you, not without an attorney present.
Fine. You can call your lawyer from the CPB. We'll start hauling you down there right now. Hey, Vecchio!
The Religious Freedom Act and the Home Worship Act specify that members of a sect be allowed to remain in their homes or place of worship until formal charges are presented.
This is a murder investigation. If you wish us to honor the Home Worship Act, you need to cooperate and answer our questions fully.
What would you like to know?
For starters, where were you and Mr. Dennison when this happened?
We were attending a lecture in another room. Most of the other members were there.
Okay, sir.
How long did the lecture last?
Wife number 5, Ashley. She wasn't there. She's the only member who doesn't have an alibi. Something else you should know about this place. It's riddled with secret passageways. Any one of these people could have gotten from one room to the next in a matter of seconds. Good work.
How you doing?
Okay. Is Chandra...
Dead? No. No, she's just unconscious. Good news is none of her vital organs were damaged. You mind? You were alone in your room when this happened?
Yes.
What are you doing? Meditating or something?
No, I was just relaxing. I had a headache and I didn't feel up to being with the rest of the group. You don't think I tried to kill Chandra?
Right now, you're the only person in the house without an alibi.
I wasn't even there. There would have been no way I could have gotten Chandra away from the rest of the group. Plus that thing she was in.
The sarcophagus, yeah. What is that? I mean, do you know what that is? Huh? It means flesh-eating stone in Greek. I'd never even seen one before. You got one hanging out in your dining room. What?
How can you be so flippant about this? Have you not seen the things that have been going on around
Yeah,
here?
I have. Hence the attitude. Look, Ashley. I'm just trying to figure out, is this something to do with the cult, or am I missing something here? You see, I'm asking you, Ashley, because I get this feeling you're not really a true believer.
Please.
Please what? Come on, what are you hiding?
Nothing. Do you know how dangerous it is for me to even be talking to you?
What's dangerous? Ashley, you gotta talk to me. You gotta tell me something, or I got no choice but to believe you're involved in it. You're a suspect, all right? I mean, unless you want to go to prison for these people.
Why don't you talk to Mother Bao? You want to talk to someone who had a reason to kill Chandra?
Mother Bao?
Yes.
What's her reason?
She was insanely jealous of Chandra. She was insanely jealous of me when I was...
When you were sleeping with Hubble?
Yes.
What about the other wives, the ones that don't live here?
No one knows for sure. Some people believe Mother Bao killed them.
Excuse me for a minute.
You're not gonna leave me alone, are you?
I'll be right here. What is it?
You need to get out of the retirement complex. There's been an incident with your father. They've had to sedate him. I will stay here with her.
There are certain rules that we have to adhere to. Your father was on the verge of becoming a danger, not only to himself, but to the other residents here as well.
But you said he never left his room.
Well, that's correct.
Dad? 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 What did you do to him?
I told you, Mr. Hume,
Detective Hume.
Yes, I know. And as I've told you before, we had to sedate your father. He was convinced that we were spying on him, that this entire room was designed so that we could spy on him. You can see for yourself the damage that...
Bring him around.
I don't see how that...
Bring him around. I want to talk to him. I want to get his side of whatever happened. I also want to make sure you didn't fuck him up anymore, but whatever you gave him. Now, that should have been a fairly mild sedative, right?
Detective Hume.
It was a mild sedative, right?
It was fairly mild, yes. It was my opinion that your father needed to be sedated. It is also my opinion that he needs to sleep off his sedation naturally. We can't be held responsible for what may happen if we try to rouse him right now. The shock to his system,
How long?
the sedative
How
was...
long before he wakes up?
I'd say if we let him sleep for another couple of hours, it should be safe to wake him. This isn't the first time something like this has happened. And this isn't the first retirement home he's been in.
I'll pay for all this.
Would you like us to call you when he wakes up?
No. I'm waiting right here.
There's a waiting room down the hall. Plenty of hot coffee.
I'll be fine.
Okay.
Jesus, Dad.
I realize this is a difficult time.
It's a catastrophic time. The people you meet here make up the inner circle of level 4. If they lose their spiritual bearing, it affects the entire membership worldwide. Not only have they lost their spiritual leader, now they've lost someone who, because of her innocence and great generosity of spirit, was loved almost as greatly as Hubble himself.
Chandra is not lost. Although she is unconscious, she is very much alive. Perhaps you'd tell me about your relationship with her.
My relationship with Chandra was the same as my relationship with every other member of Level 4 who inhabited this house, with the exception of Hubble himself.
It is unusual for several wives to live under the same roof with the same...
My relationship with Hubble should not be characterized in a similar way to the relationships he had with his other wives. I was with Hubble from the beginning. I helped him create Level 4. If you took a poll of our 2 million members, I think you'd find I'm held in almost the same esteem as Hubble himself.
That must have made it very hard.
How so?
To be held in such high regard on the one hand, while being continually cast aside in your more personal relationship with Mr. Bao.
Detective, I can save you a lot of time and trouble. I did not kill Hubble. I did not try to kill Chandra, and I am in no way jealous of Chandra's relationship with Hubble. I gave up the pleasures of the flesh a long time ago. Believe me, being the first wife of a powerful spiritual leader has many other rewards.
I see. Well, that leaves Ashley. Could you tell me about your relationship with her?
I'd prefer not to discuss Ashley.
And why is that?
Because it is my opinion she's a complete opportunist. I can't prove anything, but she is not a true believer.
So why don't you tell me about this thing, this sarcophagus we found Chandra in?
Look, I already told you. I don't know anything about Level 4 stuff, okay? I don't know anything. I'm not even a member.
I'm not asking you about Level 4. I'm asking you about the sarcophagus. Your father is supposedly the one who designed it.
Let me tell you something about my dad. He wasn't the true believer my mother wanted him to be. He saw some Egyptian exhibit. That's what gave him the idea. He thought it would be neat. It never would have occurred to him that someone might actually stick someone inside the thing.
You want to tell me about your relationship with your mother?
Tell me about your relationship with your son, Matthew.
My son is an addict. His addiction to certain technological devices is a constant source of pain and embarrassment.
Embarrassment? To whom?
To everyone in this group, but most especially to his parents. I love Matthew dearly, but I believe his father was too soft on him. He needed a stronger hand to guide him.
Farth, I'm in the guest bedroom at the end of the corridor.
Yes.
Matthew just turned one of the walls into a hologram. Looks like his escape route.
Follow him.
Got it. Yeah, I'm on him. This neighborhood gets any tonier, I'm gonna have to change my clothes to fit in.
I'm not sure that your pursuit of Matthew will allow you the necessary time to do that.
He's going into a recall session.
Put the chair down, please. I told you they had those things in here.
What?
Mechanical eyes bulging out of every little cranny. That's how they spy on me. Yeah. They spy on me in the goddamn latrine.
Just flexible conduit, Dad. Look. There's no eyes, there's no surveillance cameras.
Yeah, well, I know they're watching me. Somehow they're watching me.
There are a couple cameras in this place. It's just for your safety. You knew that coming in.
I didn't know that. I never would have agreed to that. David, they're playing games with me.
What kind of games?
They take things from me, important things. Then when I ask for them back, they act like they never existed.
Why would they do that?
Try to break me down. It's the same thing the corporations used to do in the old days when they said they were trying to remake the world. What they were really trying to do is rule the world, have world domination. Everything on the outside looks fine. On the inside, they're slowly driving you crazy.
Dad,
they took the letters your mother wrote to me when I was in the service. They know how much they mean to me. Then they act like they never even existed.
I never took your letters, Dad. You gave them to me for safekeeping before you ever came here. What's that book you're holding?
It's
It's a novel.
Must be pretty important to you.
It's about a man who lived a life a lot like mine. It helps me remember. My memory by itself is not so good anymore.
Maybe we could read some together sometime. How'd that be?
Well, looks like you boys have had quite the party. It's nice to see you. How are you, Tyler?
Dad, Olivia's gonna stay with you for a little while, just till I get back from work. Is that okay? It'll just be a couple hours.
We'll be fine, won't we, Tyler? It'll be okay. Look, maybe this isn't the perfect place for him after all. Okay, or maybe it'll just take a little while longer. Either way, we'll make it through this.
I know.
Here, put this in a safe place. Otherwise, they'll take it away from me.
Okay. I'll see you later.
Good to see you again, Matthew.
With all the money I spent here, I bet it's good to see me.
Well, you're at the one place where money really can buy happiness.
Spare me the platitudes. You know what I want, right?
Have we ever disappointed you before?
Everyone's disappointed me.
Matthew's not in any kind of trouble, is he?
Nah, the kid's a saint. We're just a little concerned about all the coin he's been spending here.
It's more than I'd make in 10 years.
Or maybe it's time you asked for a raise.
Hey, what's taking so long?
Sorry, Matthew. All set. Ready?
I'm ready.
So, son, how'd you do on that math quiz today?
I got an A, Pop.
That's wonderful, dear. I think that deserves a raise in his allowance, don't you think, Father?
I agree 100%, dear.
I wish I could be more like Matthew.
Honey, we love you just the way you are.
I know, but Matthew's so smart and he's captain of the football team and
What kind of weird shit is this?
and I'm so average.
No, you're not, sis. I think you got the potential to be really great.
You really think so?
I know so.
I can't even get a C in math.
Well, that's okay. I'll take a couple football practices off a week so I can tutor you.
You mean that?
We'll start tomorrow. I'm sure it'll be all right with the coach.
You're so lucky to have a brother like Matthew.
I'll say.
I am so proud to be part of this family.
Does it look out of focus to you?
Are you referring to the video image or the mindset of the participants? Ashley and Mr. Dennison would appear to be engaged in the practice of tantric yoga. It is an Eastern technique of spiritual development.
I may be wrong here, but it doesn't look all that spiritual to me.
According to the practitioners of tantric yoga, it is possible to expand human awareness by a controlled union of male and female principles. It is, however, a recurring problem with this approach that novices tend to lose sight of their spiritual goals because the practice itself is so enjoyable.
Yeah, I can see that. Where'd you get this, Farf?
Morales followed Matthew to Recall. It appears he has been making clandestine visits there, up to 10 a week. In view of this near addiction to Recall, it seemed appropriate to scan the vid discs he's been watching.
Hard to argue with that. Also hard to argue with the fact that wife number 5 is fucking the new spiritual leader of level 4.
Guys, I got some good news. Looks like Bao's youngest wife is gonna make it. She's still a little foggy about what happened, but I think she'll be okay.
Good. How's Matthew doing?
Well, I gotta tell you, I don't think the kid did it.
What makes you say that?
Well, I thought his recall experience would be some kind of violent fantasy, but it wasn't.
What was it?
He made himself the center of attention in this perfect family. Something you find in the archives under sitcoms from the 1950s. Everyone was loving and kind, and they all adored the hell out of little Matthew.
Clearly the boy yearns for a sense of family connection, to the point where he has idealized it to a state of gross exaggeration.
But do you kill someone you're trying to connect with? Whoever killed Hubble, they didn't do it for spiritual enlightenment or family happiness. Call me cynical, but they did it for the money. They did it for all this.
The nightly meditation session's about to begin.
Keep an eye on her. We're gonna talk to Ashley and Dennison. There's stuff going on they don't want us to know.
Right.
So what do you say we cut to the chase? We know you two are having intimate relations.
There's no relation.
You want to say anything? No? We also know how bad it would look if the rest of the members found out you two were actually a couple.
That's not true.
Varv?
Bitch.
You want to be more specific? Come on. This isn't the time to be silent. You two are both in deep shit.
Mother Bao. She's been blackmailing me into helping her.
Help you to do what? To kill Hubble?
No. I didn't kill anyone.
Forgive me, Mr. Dennison, but why should we believe you?
You saw the disc. That's what she's using to blackmail me.
The disc shows two people having sex.
I am supposed to be silent and celibate. If she shows that disc to the members, it destroys my chances of retaining the leadership of the group.
Yeah, I get all that. Does it do anything to prove you didn't kill Bao?
The old woman has completely lost her mind. She's become insanely jealous of all the other wives. For God's sake, she's planning a mass suicide.
What?
None of this is my fault. She wants to purge the group of all the people still devoted to Bao.
David, the meditation session.
That doesn't make me a murderer.
Detective! Morales! Get those people out of there!
You all right? The time has come for us to unite under one mind and one spirit.
This thing's off your heads.
You're interfering with the purge!
This is the after purge, also known as the rest. Now get up.
You can't arrest me. This is a legally sanctified ceremony.
Not anymore.
David, the wiring in her cap was never completed. She would not have been electrocuted like the others.
A higher power than mine was in force here.
Is it the same higher power that killed your husband? Is it the same higher power that was gonna kill all these people?
In order to preserve something sacred, it is sometimes necessary to have a cleansing of the blood.
Does that apply to Chandra too? You'll be interested to know she's gonna make a complete recovery. Is more than willing to testify against you.
She was just the latest temptation to cross Hubble's eye. They were all giving into it. The carnality of the moment was the only thing that made sense to them. That is why they had to be purged.
You're insane, Mom. Did you hear me? You're insane. She killed my dad.
I know. Calm down. This is not gonna help anything. Easy. Morales, get her out of here. It's over. Dad. Dad. It's okay. You okay?
She was falling asleep in the chair. I was wide awake on the bed. We, put the room back together.
Yeah, I can see that.
You're a lucky man, married to such a beautiful woman. She's almost as beautiful as your mother was.
Hey, got your book back. You want me to put it in?
Would you mind reading some of that to me? That would be nice.
It would have been the summer of my second year in the regiment. Except there was no summer now. The region below the 29th parallel was a frozen wasteland. The product of one long nuclear winter. Which made her appearance even more extraordinary. The first time I saw her at the transit station, saw that smile that started in her eyes, lingered in her eyes, before it ever reached her mouth. I felt the warmth of a love I had never experienced before. It would be with me for the next 20 years of my life, and nothing would ever be the same once it was gone.